Destroying a woman's ego is kinda easy. Psychology tricks. In today's dating world, many people overlook the power that comes from self respect and emotional balance. It often feels like the dynamics have shifted, attention and validation seem to be the main currencies in relationships. But there's a more empowering perspective. When you understand your own worth and stop basing your confidence on someone else's reactions, everything changes. Confidence isn't about control or games, it's about knowing that your value doesn't depend on whether someone gives you attention. Many people assume that constant effort or pursuit will win someone over, but true connection is built on mutual respect, not pressure or chasing. Detachment doesn't mean being cold or dismissive, it means staying centered, calm, and secure in yourself. When you approach relationships from a place of strength and authenticity, you naturally inspire respect. You communicate that your happiness isn't dependent on another person's approval. This balance often leads to more genuine attraction and healthier dynamics. In this video, we'll explore practical, psychology based strategies to build confidence, reduce anxiety, and create real respect in your relationships without manipulation or games. Don't just watch, grow from within. 1. Hold frame. Listen up, your emotional state is the battleground, and if you want to take back control from her ego, you need to stand firm. Hold your frame. That's the secret. It's not about playing games or creating drama. It's about having an unwavering sense of self, regardless of her mood, a text, or any passive aggressive comments she may throw your way. Women are drawn to men who are steady, men who know who they are and don't falter when things get heated. It's magnetic. And here's the kicker, it robs her of the emotional leverage she usually uses to inflate herself. Start each day with a sense of ownership. Before you even interact with her, ask yourself, what are my priorities today? Work? Training? A personal project? A friendship? If you allow her to become the emotional center of your life, you lose your ground. When you hold frame, your priorities remain visible to both of you, and nothing, absolutely nothing, should derail them. If she flirts with you, fine. If she's hot and cold with her emotions, no problem. You don't change. You're not needy, and you're not cold for no reason. You're consistent. That's the power of holding frame. And here's the practical tool to hold that frame: boundaries. Set them and stick to them. When you say something, mean it. When she cancels plans last minute, respond with calmness. Say, all right, let's reschedule for later this week. No apologies, no begging, no passive aggressive messages. That's all unnecessary noise. Her reaction to your boundaries will reveal everything you need to know. If you fold, you've taught her that pushing you works. If you stand firm, you stop rewarding her sense of entitlement. One of the most powerful psychology tricks you can master in dealing with female psychology is controlling your emotional response. Don't react impulsively to her provocations. When she tests you with a snarky comment or a little jab, don't fall into the trap. Respond with composure or say nothing at all. Women who are used to constant attention will keep pushing until they find someone who doesn't give in. When your response is neutral, they stop feeding off your attention and ego starts to shrink. Frame also shows up in your body language and voice. Stand tall. Slow down when you speak more deliberately than she does. Maintain confident eye contact, but avoid making it too intense. And for the love of your dignity, don't laugh at every joke. Laugh only when something genuinely lands. This shows her that your value isn't for sale and calibrates your worth without being cruel. Maintain social proof. Keep your social proof visible and undeniable. A life built on your own validation, not hers, is the best message you can send. Make sure you have friendships, hobbies, and commitments that don't revolve around her approval. When you create and maintain standards, those standards should be predictable. If you've set boundaries, for instance, no texting during certain hours because you're focused on work, don't break them. Consistency breeds respect. Now, when it comes to giving attention, make sure it's deliberate and high quality. Don't drown her in constant texts or empty compliments. Treat your attention as a limited resource. When she has to earn it, her attitude will shift. It's not about being cruel or distant, it's about valuing yourself. Men who hold frame don't manipulate out of malice. They lead with integrity, not ego. By holding your frame, setting clear boundaries, controlling your reactions, and making your attention earned, you shift the dynamic. It's no longer about chasing her approval, it's about earning her respect. That's how you take her ego down a notch, not by attacking it, but by removing its audience. When she realizes you're not easily swayed, her ego loses its grip and she has no choice but to recalibrate. 2. The power of indifference. One of the most underrated tactics that a high value man can master is the art of indifference. But let's clear up a misconception. Indifference is not about pretending you don't care. No, no. It's about not caring enough to let anyone, especially a woman, have control over your emotions. Imagine this. A woman can sense when a man is emotionally attached to her reactions. The moment she knows she can make you doubt yourself, chase her harder, or lose focus with just a little pullback, she's got the reins. You're no longer in control. She owns the frame. But here's where you flip the script completely. Be the man who stays calm when she pulls away. Be the one who stays quiet when she's testing you. And most importantly, be the man who stays unbothered when she tries to provoke a reaction out of you. The man who remains untouched, unshaken, and unaffected holds all the power. That man doesn't beg for attention, nor does he chase validation. His indifference is his strength. Indifference is power because it starves her ego. Her ego thrives on one thing and one thing only: attention, especially emotional attention. She feeds off of your confusion, your chase, and your attempts to fix things. You know how it works. Women often test you, trying to provoke a reaction, testing your boundaries. It's part of the dance. But if you're a high value man who can stand firm without falling for these emotional games, you force her to face a hard truth. When she realizes that her little emotional games don't shake you, it starts to plant a seed of doubt in her mind. Does she really have power over you? The answer becomes no, and when that happens, attraction takes the place of ego. The modern dating landscape has shifted drastically. Thanks to social media, validation is everywhere, and it's cheap. Women are constantly surrounded by men who are trying too hard, who are too eager for their attention. They all line up, chasing approval like dogs for a bone. But you're different. The man who doesn't compete for her attention becomes the one who stands out without even trying. This isn't arrogance. It's presence. It's confidence in your value without needing anyone's approval to confirm it. You must become the man who lives in his masculine energy. The man who knows his worth, who is unshaken by fleeting moments of distance, and who holds his ground even when the world pushes against him. Here's the truth. The more emotionally detached you are, the more she'll find herself drawn to you. It's not about playing games or being cold. It's about knowing your worth and not needing validation. That is the mark of a true high-value man. Be the one who is in control of his own emotions. Be the one who can sit in the quiet of your own presence, knowing that you don't need her attention to feel important. In this world of endless distractions and validation chasers, your indifference will make you shine. You don't need her validation. She needs your presence. 3. Silence speaks louder. In the battle of minds, silence is a weapon that most men underestimate. The truth is, silence speaks louder than any words ever could. It requires the strength of an iron mind to remain quiet, to hold your ground while others crumble under the pressure of needing to explain themselves. When a woman's ego is inflated, she's accustomed to controlling situations through emotional reactions. She might test you with sharp words, pull away to see if you'll chase, or act uninterested just to provoke a response. Most men fall into the trap, desperately seeking clarity, begging for attention, or over-explaining themselves. But the real power lies in doing nothing, absolutely nothing. By responding with silence, you shatter her rhythm completely. You break the pattern of emotional manipulation she's used to. She can't predict you, and when she can't predict you, she can't control you. Silence forces her to face her own thoughts, her own emotions, and her own insecurities. In that moment, she wonders what you're thinking, why you're not reacting, and, most devastatingly for her, whether she misjudged her value to you. Don't give her the satisfaction of knowing your next move. You don't need to announce your retreat. Simply stop feeding her inflated ego. When she gives you attitude, don't engage. When she pulls away, give her the same calm, measured distance. When she tries to provoke you, don't defend yourself. Just let silence speak. Maybe offer a slight smirk, or perhaps just turn away. The less you say, the more her mind runs wild with questions and doubts. And nothing wrecks a woman's ego like uncertainty. The essence of this tactic is rooted in the old Stoic wisdom that teaches us to master ourselves first, not react impulsively to the chaos around us. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. In modern life, this translates to mastering your emotions, controlling your responses, and standing firm with an iron mind. By practicing Stoicism, you learn to control your reactions, to win by choosing when and how to engage. The truly powerful man is not one who reacts, but one who stays calm, collected, and above all, silent when it matters most. Silence is your strength, and it will turn the tables faster than any words ever could. Remember, silence disrupts their ego, makes them question their own worth, and places you in control. You must embody this power. You must learn to let go of the need for validation and focus on mastering your inner self. Only through this iron mind can you win. 4. Stop explaining yourself. Stop explaining yourself. Seriously. It's one of the quickest ways you lose your power in today's dating world. You might not realize it, but over-explaining is like handing over control of the situation. How many times have you caught yourself justifying every move, every text, every pause in the conversation? Trust me, stop. Women don't fall for words. They feel energy. The more you try to explain, the more you signal to her that you need her approval to feel secure. And guess what? That's exactly what fuels her ego. Women are experts at reading your energy, and the moment you start over-explaining, it's like you're telling her, I need you to validate me. That's not attractive. That's the opposite of confidence. It screams insecurity. Understand this. There's a psychological trick at play here. When you're constantly explaining yourself, you're subconsciously asking for approval. You're saying, I need you to agree with me. I want you to think I'm right. But a man who knows he's right doesn't need to explain. He doesn't feel the need to make excuses. He moves forward with quiet confidence. Confidence doesn't need validation. It doesn't need a cheerleader. It speaks for itself through actions, not words. When you're truly confident, you don't sell yourself to anyone. You just are. This isn't just some casual dating advice. It's grounded in psychology. If you really want to understand female psychology and what makes women tick, consider this. Women are drawn to men who embody strength, decisiveness, and independence, qualities that are best conveyed through action, not explanation. Over-explaining? That just puts you in the category of someone who's seeking validation. And let's face it, no one's attracted to a man who's constantly looking for approval. Stop playing that game. You must stop explaining yourself. The more you talk, the more you dig yourself into a hole, and the harder it gets to reclaim your power. Focus on letting your actions speak for you. Be the man who moves with certainty, not the one who stumbles over his words. How to fall in love? It's not through endless words, but through silent, confident action that speaks volumes. When you understand how to tap into your own strength and stop looking for approval, you'll see the change. So, take a step back, stop over-explaining, and watch how everything shifts. You've got this. If you found this valuable, comment below, and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on building confidence and mastering the art of attraction. Comment to remember, I move with quiet certainty. This will help you internalize the power of calm confidence. Let your actions speak louder than words. 5. Be willing to walk away. Every high-value man needs to understand this principle deep down. The ultimate leverage in any relationship or interaction is your willingness to walk away. It's not about bluffing, not about playing games, and certainly not about pretending. It's about being truly ready, in your heart and mind, to leave if respect or peace is lost. Don't fool yourself into thinking you have to stick around at all costs. That is not strength, that is desperation. A woman's ego, no matter how strong it may seem, can be shattered in an instant when she realizes that you, the high value man she desires, can live without her. The truth, most men can't do this. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's true. Most men, deep down, cannot bring themselves to walk away. And because of this, women will test them. They'll push boundaries, often without even realizing it. It's not always malicious, it's simply human nature. Women want to know where the line is. They want to see how far they can go before a man finally stands his ground. If you give in, if you tolerate bad behavior, disrespect, or emotional manipulation, then you are teaching her that you can be walked on. And the more you let her get away with it, the more her ego inflates. Why? Because your compliance, your unwillingness to walk away, fuels her sense of control. It strengthens her position. Your masculine energy must be non-negotiable. Now, here's where the shift happens. You must operate from a place of masculine energy, a place of unshakable strength. When you develop the ability to detach, to step back emotionally from any situation, that's when things begin to change. When you can look her in the eye and say, if this isn't working for me, I'm out, your energy speaks volumes. Don't be the man who chases after attention, who begs for validation. Stop tolerating toxic behaviors or subtle manipulation. You must draw a hard line. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. Be the man who knows his worth, who commands respect without demanding it. This is how you start leading with quiet strength. The uncertainty you create triggers attraction. Here's the kicker. When you walk away, or even show you're willing to, you introduce something powerful into the dynamic, uncertainty. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding that a high-value man doesn't need anyone to validate his worth. He knows what he brings to the table. Most women, whether they admit it or not, have experienced too many men who just don't know their value. But when you step into your masculine energy, showing that you can easily detach, she experiences something rare, uncertainty. It's the one thing that ignites attraction in a woman. It's the psychological trigger that makes her wonder, what if he really walks away? What if I lose him? This uncertainty isn't a manipulation tactic, it's simply the truth. A high-value man knows that his worth is not tied to any one person, and this understanding is magnetic. She's drawn to you because you have boundaries, because you stand firm. The moment she realizes she could lose you, she starts to see you in a completely different light. Takeaway: walk away when you must. You must be prepared to walk away. The high-value man attracts women not by being desperate, but by knowing his value and not tolerating disrespect. Women will test you. They'll challenge you. But when you respond with calm, unshakable strength, that's when her attraction for you grows. The masculine energy you carry, strong, unyielding, and confident, creates an aura of power that few men can offer. And in a world where so many are afraid to stand up for themselves, your ability to detach, to walk away if necessary, makes you the man every woman secretly wants. Don't let her ego manipulate you. Show her you can walk away, and watch how quickly her respect and attraction deepens. 6. Control the emotional tempo. In every interaction between a man and a woman, there is an invisible rhythm, a dance of emotions and energy. One leads, the other follows. Most men don't realize it, but the man who controls the emotional tempo controls the entire connection. He sets the pace, the tone, and the energy, while the man who lets her dictate the tempo is reduced to reacting to her every shift, like a puppet on strings. If you want to dismantle her ego, you need to stop dancing to her rhythm. Instead, you must take charge. Make her match your energy, not the other way around. Women will constantly test men emotionally. They'll shift from affectionate to distant, playful to cold, calm to irritated, all to gauge your strength, to see if your emotional state will rise and fall with hers. Most men crumble under this pressure. They chase reassurance when she's distant. They become defensive when she's moody. They try harder when she's cold. But these reactions show that you are not in control. They give her the power to manipulate your emotions at will. And when she feels she has this power, her ego inflates. She starts to believe she can control you, and that's when her ego grows stronger. But when you take control of the emotional tempo, when you don't allow her emotional shifts to dictate your own, you remain steady, grounded, and composed. Your energy stays unshaken, unbothered. You do not chase or react because you know your worth. You know that true strength lies in maintaining your equilibrium. As the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So stay grounded. When you hold the emotional tempo, you master the interaction. Her ego will shrink and your strength will grow. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, maintaining control over your mind, your emotions, and your actions. The Stoic man is unmoved by external events, rooted in his purpose and composed under any circumstance. So, don't fall into the trap of reacting. Don't let her mood swings dictate your emotional state. Let your iron mind guide you. You must be unshakable, a beacon of calm and confidence. Only then will you win. Control the tempo. Own the interaction. Don't just survive it, master it. 7. Value silence over validation. In today's world, many men are deeply hooked on validation, constantly seeking approval and affirmation from women. They yearn to be liked, accepted, and assured that they're doing things right. But here's the truth. This craving for validation destroys attraction more effectively than any other mistake. When a woman senses that you need her approval, her ego inflates. Suddenly, she feels like the one in control, and that power shifts her focus from you as a man to her own inflated sense of self-worth. To break free from this toxic cycle, you must master one powerful psychology trick: value silence over validation. Validation is a form of emotional currency. Every compliment you give, every pleading, please respond, and every lengthy message explaining yourself feeds her ego. You might think you're building a connection, but in reality, you're positioning her as the prize. And the moment she sees herself as the prize, she loses respect for you. The game is over. She starts to think she holds all the power, and that kills the attraction. She doesn't see you as a man she wants. She sees you as someone desperate for her validation. Silence, however, is your reset button. It's your psychological power play. By choosing not to react, not to chase after her, and not to explain yourself endlessly, you create an invisible but powerful space between you. That silence will make her think. It forces her to examine her own behavior, causing her ego to question its own value. This is one of the most subtle yet effective psychology tricks you can use in understanding female psychology. Instead of reinforcing her sense of superiority, you challenge it. This shifts her perspective from thinking she is the prize to realizing that you, as a man, have the power to walk away and withhold your energy. That space is where true attraction lives. In female psychology, attraction thrives on the mystery, the challenge, the unknown. By mastering silence, you become the man she can't fully figure out, and that, my friend, is how to fall in love with you. Don't make the mistake of over-validation. Don't drown her in compliments or let her ego rule the relationship. Let her earn your attention, let her wonder about you, and watch as she becomes more intrigued by who you are. This is how you turn the power dynamic in your favor without saying a word. 8. Master the art of detachment. Let's get something clear. Detachment is not about being cold, distant, or emotionally unavailable. No, my friend. Detachment is about mastering the art of emotional independence. It's about reclaiming your power in relationships and making sure no woman can control your emotions through manipulation. It's a simple yet profound psychological trick that every high-value man must wield to attract women and maintain masculine energy. Too many men fall into the trap of emotional dependence. They get too invested too quickly. They allow their emotions to be controlled by her moods, her behavior, her reactions. That's where things start to go south. As soon as you let a woman's emotions dictate your own, you lose your power. Don't fall into that trap. Never let her hold the reins to your emotional world. The secret of emotional self-regulation: stay calm, stay strong. The true key to detachment lies in emotional self-regulation. This is where most men miss the mark. It's not just about holding back from reacting to her emotional highs and lows. It's about training yourself to stay grounded, no matter what. When you stop letting her moods or comments push your buttons, you put up a buffer zone between her emotions and your actions. This is how you maintain your focus on your goals, your life, and your purpose. And let's face it, a high value man's time and energy should be dedicated to his own mission, not constantly chasing someone else's emotional approval. Imagine this: she throws a fit, makes a snide comment, or gets upset for no reason. What do? You don't overreact. You don't get angry. Instead, you stay calm, you stay collected, and you stay focused on your purpose. You must continue on your path as if her emotional drama is just that, drama. The moment you stop needing her validation or approval, you start to pique her curiosity. You stop being predictable and instead, you become someone who has a life that doesn't revolve around her. And trust me, that is a magnetic quality. Don't lose yourself. Stay centered, stay in control. But here's the twist: detachment doesn't mean you shut her out. It doesn't mean you start acting like you don't care about her or her feelings. That's a mistake some men make, and it's just as harmful as being too emotionally dependent. That is not what detachment is. Instead, detachment is about maintaining your center. You're the anchor in the storm. When she's all over the place emotionally, you stay steady. When she's demanding attention, you give it to her on your terms, not because she's manipulated you into it, but because you choose to. You meet her where you are, not where she wants you to be. Attraction through emotional independence. She'll respect you more. When a woman realizes she can't control your emotions, she starts to respect you. This respect is the foundation of real attraction. She starts to see you as a man who isn't swayed by her every whim. You're not playing her emotional games. You're playing your own game, and she wants to be a part of it. A high value man is never controlled by emotional manipulation. His masculine energy is steady, unwavering, and grounded in self respect. In relationships, respect is the bedrock of true attraction. When she sees you as someone who doesn't need her validation, she starts to view you differently. You become the man who sets the emotional tone, the man who doesn't get rattled. That is the key to keeping her intrigued and attracted to you for the long term. So, here's the bottom line: to attract women and maintain your power, you must master the art of detachment. Don't let her control your emotions. Stay focused on your own mission. By doing so, you'll exude a high value man's aura, one that's deeply attractive and irresistibly magnetic. Keep your masculine energy intact, and watch as she respects, admires, and is drawn to you more than ever before. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us. Or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. 9. Led by example, not words. Men, listen closely. The path to true respect and dominance in relationships doesn't lie in manipulation or passive aggressive behavior. It lies in your actions. If you want to control the narrative, you must master the art of leading by example, not words. Words alone are hollow, they can be twisted and ignored. But actions? Actions resonate, actions command. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is your blueprint. Show leadership in the way you live, not in the way you speak. Be decisive, unwavering, led through your actions. Consistency in behavior, clarity in priorities, and an iron mind are the cornerstones of your authority. Do not explain. Do not beg for validation. You do not need her approval to define your worth. The Stoic wisdom echoes here. Your happiness is self-contained. Be the man who does what he says, no excuses, no apologies. This will make her see that you are a man of substance. She will admire you, respect you, and ultimately be drawn to your unshakable confidence. The Old Stoic wisdom teaches that you must remain centered and relentless in your own pursuit. Don't force anything. Let your life unfold with unyielding strength. You lead because you are the captain of your own ship, and your sense of self doesn't depend on her approval. Show her the power of your independence and unbreakable will. As Marcus Aurelius once declared, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Live this truth. You must create a life that demands respect, one built on your own victories, your unwavering resolve. Remember, Actions speak louder than words, and your power, your very essence, is conveyed through them. In modern life, with so many distractions and superficial interactions, leading by example is more crucial than ever. It's the differentiator between being someone who's followed and someone who's ignored. Don't chase approval, earn respect through your actions. Keep pushing forward. The Stoicism win comes from mastering yourself first. Your iron mind will guide you. Lead the way. 10. Be unpredictable, but not chaotic. If you want to truly capture a woman's attention and keep her engaged, you must understand the power of unpredictability. But don't confuse unpredictability with chaos. That's where the mistake lies. Women often encounter men who are either painfully predictable or completely chaotic, leaving them bored or stressed. What you need is a balance, an unpredictable, yet composed presence that creates a constant air of mystery and excitement. This is a psychology trick that works wonders. Women find themselves intrigued by men who can maintain emotional stability while occasionally shifting their behavior in surprising ways. It doesn't mean flipping into erratic moods or becoming inconsistent. It means keeping her on her toes in a way that's subtle yet effective. If you always act the same way, she'll grow bored because there's no room for anticipation. But when you introduce moments of surprise, whether it's a small change in your routine or a new way of interacting with her, she'll stay hooked. However, let's be clear, unpredictability is not about manipulation. You're not aiming to cause unnecessary drama or confusion, but rather to gently shift her expectations and perceptions. A calm, unpredictable presence allows you to make her rethink what she thought she knew about you, sparking respect and deeper attraction. You're playing with her emotions, yes, but not in a deceitful way. It's about keeping her engaged and invested without being a puzzle she can't figure out. And the key is in understanding female psychology. Women thrive on excitement, but they also value consistency and trust. So, don't be afraid to shake things up a little, but always make sure it's done with intention. The right amount of unpredictability will make her admire your strength and poise and keep her wanting more. This is how to create that perfect balance where she respects you, desires you, and ultimately falls in love. Don't fall into the trap of predictable routine, and don't allow yourself to become too chaotic. Striking the right balance will create the attraction and emotional depth you seek. This is one of the simplest yet most profound psychology tricks you can master to truly stand out in her eyes. 11. Don't chase, be pursued. Gentlemen, listen up. Stop chasing. Period. The moment you let go of the pursuit and focus on living your life, something powerful happens. You see, women are not attracted to men who are constantly running after them. It's the high value man, the one who stands tall, has his life together, and is not desperately seeking validation, who draws women in. This isn't a strategy, it's a mindset. Women want to see that you have a life outside of her. They want to know that you're a man with purpose, ambition, and drive. That you're not sitting around waiting for her to validate your existence. Live on your own terms. This isn't about playing hard to get or ignoring her to spark her interest. Don't confuse confidence with game playing. No, you must live on your own terms. Be so invested in your own life, your own growth, and your own purpose that the pursuit of a woman doesn't define you. When you stop chasing her for affection, you communicate to her that you have options. You don't need her to feel whole. Now, let's get one thing straight. The high-value man doesn't need anyone to feel complete. The essence of being masculine is self-sufficiency. When you chase, you become like a dog begging for scraps, pathetic. You tell her, through your actions, that she's the prize and you need her approval to feel good about yourself. That is weak. That is not masculine energy. The high-value man doesn't need validation from anyone. He is already whole. And when a woman sees that, she'll naturally start to wonder, what makes this guy different from all the others who are chasing me? Your life is the prize. So, stop chasing. When you stop running after her, her desire for you grows. The more you focus on your own life, your own purpose, the more she will be drawn to you. Why? Because women are wired to seek out men who are sure of themselves, who don't need them to feel validated. She will see that you're not just another man seeking her attention. Instead, you're the kind of man she'll start pursuing. And that, my friend, is when the magic happens. Be the prize. In other words, be the man who doesn't revolve around her. Be the man who lives a life filled with purpose and ambition. This doesn't mean ignoring her or being aloof for the sake of games. It means having the confidence to know that you don't need to chase her to make her interested. A man with purpose is a man who attracts women. A man who is self-sufficient is a man who exudes masculine energy. A man who knows his worth is a man who will naturally attract the right women into his life. In the end, remember this: you must stop chasing. When you let go of the chase, you allow her to come to you. The dynamic shifts. And when it does, that's when she'll realize she's the one pursuing the high-value man who knows what he wants and doesn't settle for less. If you've read this far, you're already on the path to mastering your relationships and shifting the dynamics. Most men never learn this powerful truth. They stay stuck in the cycle of chasing. But now you have the power to change that. Comment below with this: I have stopped chasing and started living my own purpose. Let's see who's ready to embrace this new mindset and attract the right energy into their life. 12. Show respect, but don't be a people pleaser. Respect is essential in any relationship, but don't confuse respect with people pleasing. Too many men fall into the trap of constantly trying to meet her needs, bending over backward, and seeking her approval at every moment. Stop. You are not here to be a servant, to sacrifice your own desires, or to give up your identity for her validation. True respect comes from a place of self-assurance. It is not about catering to her every whim or making her feel superior. It's about treating her with kindness and consideration without ever compromising your own values or your boundaries. This is where Old Stoic wisdom holds power. The Stoics understood that a man's strength is derived from within, from his iron mind. He doesn't allow external forces to dictate his actions or his self-worth. Respect starts with respecting yourself. When you cultivate an iron mind, grounded in Stoicism, you don't need to please anyone. Your actions, your decisions, and your boundaries reflect your deep sense of self-respect, and that, in turn, commands respect from others. She will never respect a man who lives in constant need of her approval. Never. The moment you make your happiness and emotional stability dependent on her, you lose your power. A true man holds firm to his values, his time, and his energy. A man who respects himself first and stands strong in his boundaries will always earn her respect. Make no mistake, respect should flow both ways, but it must start with you. You must respect your own time, your own emotional needs, and your own limits. That's the key to mastering any relationship. Don't be afraid to enforce your boundaries. Don't be afraid to prioritize your own well-being. The strongest relationships are built on mutual respect, but that respect must first be anchored in your own sense of self-worth. With the guidance of Stoicism, you will see that to win in life, you must never compromise who you are for someone else. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Your victory begins with mastering your mind and living according to your own principles. Only then will you command respect from others, especially from the women in your life. You must embody the Stoicism win, show respect without submission, and create a life where your boundaries are sacred. Your power lies in your ability to stay true to your own values, to build an iron mind that no one can shake. And this, gentlemen, is how you destroy the ego without losing yourself. Hey there, thanks for watching. I hope this video gave you some solid insights into the psychology of attraction. Remember, the key to standing out and gaining respect from women isn't about playing games or seeking validation. It's about being emotionally steady, confident, and focusing on your own growth. By integrating the strategies we talked about today, you'll notice a shift in how women perceive you: more respect, more attraction, and a deeper connection. Stay true to yourself, lead with integrity, and don't fall into the trap of inflating someone's ego at the cost of your own self-respect. Take this advice to heart and let it guide you towards becoming the man who is emotionally in control, focused on his goals, and respected by those around him. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.